Alright everybody, in this video I want to take a look at our hazards. So let's go to the hierarchy and double click on the hazard. If you remember, we just had it as a big red cube. That's pretty cool. You know, big red cubes are fun, but I think we can turn it into something a little more interesting if we go to the Unity Asset Store. Alright, so let's go here. I'm going to type in flame. Alright, we'll just search for that. And as always, we're going to go for free assets. And I'm actually going to go with the first choice here. This one works out pretty well. So I'm going to open that in Unity. Application, open link. The package manager will open as always. It will fetch the packages. Make sure that we're not on 2D platformer. Sometimes it puts us there by default. Not really sure why. Just make sure we're on Flames of the Phoenix right there. Click import, and then we will import all of those assets, and that will just take a moment there. Alright, and once those are imported, we can close the package manager, and here is the folder right here, Flames of the Phoenix. Open that. There's actually a lot of assets in this package. We're just going to go to Fire. I'm going to choose the Simple Fire. These are all different colors of fire. They have them listed under these creative names. Royal is the color I'm going to go for. It's kind of a more standard red color of fire. There are a variety of prefabs here. Feel free to experiment with these. They've got walls of flame and different types of bigger flames and sizes and shapes. I'm going to use this one right here. The very first one is called Big Fire. So I'm just going to drag it into the scene all the way over there. I'm going to focus on it by pressing F. Alright. And here's our hazard cube right here. And what do you think we're going to do with that? We are going to delete it, right? We delete things that we don't need anymore. So now we're going to use this fire. So here's our fire right here. It's called Fire Royal Big Fire. Okay. I want to size it up. I want to scale it up because it's a little small for our purposes. But because this is a particle system, we don't just size it up on the scale here. We can, and I'll show you what that looks like. So let's say if I want to make it all 8. Alright, you can see it does change the size, but the particles, they're still small, and so they look more spread out than they should be. Alright, so we want to make the particles increase in size as well. So I'm going to go over to the inspector, and under the particle system you can see there are a bunch of numbers we can change. The one I want to change is the start size. I'm going to change that to 3 and 3.5. The reason why there's two numbers there is because it will randomly choose a number between 3 and 3.5. And now when we increase that, you can see the particles are much larger, so we don't have all that space in between like we did before. So when we're going to scale up our particle system, we not only have to do it here on the scale, but we also have to think about the start size. Alright, so now I want to add a component to this. So we are going to add a box collider. Alright, it's going to look really large, much larger than it should be. So we're going to go to the size for the box collider, and let's just try to set it to 1 by 1 by 1. Alright, that's a little better, but it's way off center. So you can see here it says center. I'm going to hit 0, 0, 0. Alright, so now it's well more centered. And now I can mess with the size a bit more to get it closer to the size of our flame. So I'm going to try 0.6 by 0.6, and I guess we could try 0.5, maybe 0.8, yeah, somewhere around there. And then you can mess with the other parameters, so I can actually just drag this back and forth. If you click on the Z there, you can just drag it back and forth with your mouse to see what looks best. And to me, I think that's good enough. I'm going to mark this as trigger. Alright, and then we're going to add another component, and this is going to be our object script. Alright, and we are going to name this hazard, just like we did with our previous hazard. but now it looks way cooler, right? Okay, and then the final thing I want to do here is just rename this to fire hazard. All right, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and drag it over by our player, which is over here. All right, let's just focus in on that. All right, that should be close enough. I'll just put it right here so we can see it. I'm going to play the game and make sure that our hazard works. So let's go ahead and try that. All right, and we can see the fire right there. It looks dangerous. Let's walk into it. Oh, you know what I just noticed? We can't actually see our health anymore. And you know why? It's because we're set to free aspect right here. So press escape to bring your mouse up. And the fire does work because it's game over, right? But click on where it says free aspect and set it to 16 by 9. We want to make sure we're in 16 by 9. All right. Now we can see all of our UI. And let's just double check, walk into the fire again, and we can see our health is going down. All right. So now we have this dangerous looking fire hazard. It looks way better than the big red cube that we were using before. And we're using a particle system for that. And that's right here. And if you want to preview what the particle system looks like, press this play button right there. Now we can see what it looks like. And we can drag it up and down a little bit wherever you think it looks best. I think right about there looks good to me. The other thing I want to do with this is go back to our assets folder. And we're going to go back to that prefabs folder from last video. And we're going to turn this into a prefab. So from the hierarchy, drag the fire hazard into our prefabs folder. And we can create an original prefab this time. All right. There we go. Fire hazard. And one thing I want to do that we didn't do in the last video, let's rename health. It's automatically called it variant because we created it as a variant, but I just want to remove variant. All right. Because that could be confusing. All right. So now we have a prefab fire hazard. So anywhere you want to drag that into your level, there you go. We have dangerous fire. And it looks way better than what we had before. So go ahead and experiment with that. Check out the different types of fire that are here, and then add the scripts to them for the objects. And don't forget to label it here for the object type. It has to be hazard with a capital H. All right, hazard. So go ahead and do that now, and then in the next video we will do some more cool stuff. So I will see you then.